welcome back. I'm Renee, and if you're new here, thanks for joining us. Today we are talking about a term that is being seen a lot. We hear it everywhere, we see it everywhere, and in light of that, sometimes it is misunderstood. The term we're talking about today on Mental Health Monday is gaslighting. So you may have heard people say things like, my boss is gaslighting me, my partner is gaslighting me, my friend is gaslighting me. Or perhaps you've wondered whether you've experienced gaslighting yourself. The challenge is that the term has become so widely used that it gets applied to situations where it doesn't quite fit. So today let's talk about what gaslighting really is and what it isn't, and why it can be so harmful. So let's start with a simple definition. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation in which a person repeatedly causes someone to question their own perceptions, memories, feelings, or reality. And over time, the goal, or sometimes the effect of this, is that the person begins trusting themselves less and trusting the other person more. Gaslighting is not simply a disagreement. It's not having a different opinion. It's not forgetting that something happened. And it's not every argument in a relationship. Gaslighting involves a repeated pattern that undermines someone's confidence in their own experience. So let me give you an example. So imagine your partner makes a hurtful comment during an argument. And later, when the issue is brought up again, they respond with, that never happened. You're so sensitive. You're imagining things. I never said that. You're remembering it all wrong. If this happens repeatedly, the other person starts to begin questioning themselves. Maybe I am too sensitive. Maybe I misunderstood that. Or maybe my memory isn't that great. And over time, they can lose confidence in their own thoughts, feelings, and perceptions. And that's where gaslighting becomes so damaging. Here's another example. Imagine an employee raises a concern about a workplace issue. Instead of addressing the concern, the supervisor repeatedly suggests that the employee is overreacting, imagining problems, misunderstanding situations that other people clearly witnessed. Eventually, the employee starts wondering whether they can trust their own judgment. And again, the issue isn't about disagreement. The issue is the repeated erosion of someone's confidence in their own reality. One of the reasons gaslighting can be so confusing is that it can happen subtly and gradually. People rarely wake up one day and think, I'm being gaslighted. Instead, they may notice that they're second guessing themselves more often. They maybe start to apologize more frequently, or they seek constant reassurance, or they replay conversations repeatedly. They begin asking other people to confirm the events because they no longer trust their own memory. Research on emotional abuse and psychological manipulation suggests that experiences like gaslighting can often contribute to anxiety, self-doubt, confusion, lowered self-esteem, and emotional distress. Now, let's talk about what gaslighting is not. If two people remember an event differently, that is not automatically gaslighting. Human memory is imperfect. Two people can genuinely experience the same event in different ways. So similarly, if someone disagrees with your perspective, it doesn't necessarily mean they're gaslighting you. Healthy relationships can tolerate differences in perception. The concern, though, arises when there's a consistent pattern of dismissing, denying, distorting, or invalidating another person's reality. One of the most important consequences of gaslighting is the loss of self-trust. When someone repeatedly questions your experiences, you may eventually start doing that to yourself. You stop trusting your instincts. You stop trusting your feelings. You stop trusting your judgment. And rebuilding that self-trust can take time. So before we wrap up, here are 3 takeaways. First, gaslighting is more than a disagreement. It involves a pattern of undermining someone's confidence in their own perceptions and experiences. Second, pay attention to how interactions leave you feeling. Do you consistently leave some conversations feeling confused, doubting yourself, or questioning your reality? Those experiences are worth having a look at, and they may give you some important signals that are worth exploring. And third, your thoughts and feelings and experiences do matter. So while none of us can perceive things perfectly, healthy relationships allow room for curiosity, discussion, and differing perspectives without repeatedly making someone feel as though they cannot trust themselves. In this week's Thrive Thursday episode, we'll talk about practical ways to rebuild self-trust when you've spent a long time second-guessing yourself. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you on Thrive Thursday. Until next time, take good care of yourself. You got this.